Hi, everyone. This is Mike, Ashley, and Katie from Time to Pet, and thank you for joining us for today's Advanced Notifications webinar. We will be getting started with our webinar in just a couple minutes, but before we begin, a few announcements. Today, we'll be covering advanced notifications and their settings. We will be playing 3 short videos and doing a Q&A after each one. Our first video is on company notifications, then client notifications, and lastly, staff notifications. If you have any questions during the videos, you can ask those in the chat section on the far right side of the screen, and we'll spend about 5 minutes or so answering as many questions as we can at the end of each related video. At the end of the last video, we will be opening up the floor for an extended Q&A to touch on any questions we did not get to answer. We'll also be sending a follow-up email after the webinar to answer any additional questions you may have and with a link to the recorded version. We're going to give everyone a minute or two to get settled. Thanks again for joining us. Hi everyone, Mike from Time to Pet here again. We're almost ready to get started, but for anyone who has just joined us, today's Advanced Notifications webinar will include 3 videos on company, client, and staff notifications. After each video, we will open the floor for a Q&A session related to that specific video. If you have any questions during or after the videos, you can ask those in the chat section on the far right. Let's go ahead and get started.
There are four types of notifications in Time to Pet. Dashboard notifications, which are what admins and staff see at the top of each page on the website dashboard. Email notifications. Push notifications, which are the notifications you receive on your phone from the Time to Pet mobile app. And text message notifications. The first portion of this demo will primarily focus on dashboard, email, and push notifications, as these are the default notifications in Time to Pet. And then later on, we'll look at text message notifications, as these have to be enabled and configured separately. There are a number of settings that affect what notifications you, your staff, and your clients receive. Some of these are set at the company level, and some of these are set on the individual staff members or client's profile. We'll start by first looking at these company level settings for notifications. The majority of company-level notification settings can be found by going to Settings in the main menu, and then in the Settings menu, going under Advanced and clicking on Notifications. The first setting you'll see here is Company Notifications. This setting must be enabled for any notifications to be sent for your company. When company notifications are disabled, no dashboard, email, push, or text message notifications will be sent to you, your staff, or your clients. Typically, this setting will only be disabled by new companies who are testing Time to Pet during their free trial. The next setting is Staff Receive Notifications For. This setting controls which clients staff receive notifications for when a message is sent to or from a client, or when a client's profile is updated. The default setting is for them to receive notifications for all clients that they have a scheduled event for and all clients that they are listed as a preferred sitter for on the client's profile. But there are also options for them to only receive notifications for clients that they are a preferred sitter for, or only clients that they have been scheduled for. If you select one of the options that includes clients they are scheduled for, there will be an additional setting for staff must have a scheduled event for client within. This setting determines how many days in the past or future their scheduled event for the client must be for them to receive notifications. By default, this will be set to any time, meaning staff will get notifications for all clients that they have been scheduled for, no matter how far in the past or the future those events are. This typically results in staff getting a lot of notifications that aren't necessarily relevant to them. For example, if a staff member was just subbing for another staff member for a particular client and will be serving that client again anytime soon, they probably don't want or need to receive notifications for that client. So what most companies will do instead is specify a number of days that the event has to be scheduled within to keep their staff from being overwhelmed with notifications that they don't need to see. When choosing a number of days for this setting, keep in mind that it is the number of days in the past or future for scheduled events. Setting it to 1 day, for example, means that staff get notifications for the clients that they have a scheduled event for yesterday, today, or tomorrow. The next setting is Include System Notifications in Conversation Feed. When this is enabled, Time to Pet will copy the emailed messages for invoices, schedule confirmations, welcome emails, and payment notifications to the client's conversation feed. This makes it easy for you to see when these notifications were sent to the client, and if you click on the subject line of any of these system notifications, you can see the actual message that was sent. This is especially useful when you customized the message for one of these emails and want to go back and see what you wrote. On invoice emails, you can also download the actual PDF invoice that was sent as an attachment to the client. This can be useful if you've made changes to the invoice since it's been emailed and want to see what was originally on the invoice. These system notifications will not be visible to your staff. They are only visible to admins and to office managers with the correct permissions. For example, if you don't give your office managers permission to manage invoicing, they wouldn't be able to see the system notifications for invoices. The next setting is the schedule report. This is a summary of the entire company's schedule that is emailed to admins each day. Below this is the schedule report days setting. This allows you to configure how many days worth of events will be included in the schedule report email. The next setting is schedule staff notifications. This setting controls when staff receive notifications of schedule changes, such as being assigned or unassigned from an event, when the time of an event is changed, or when an event is canceled. The options for this setting are always or same day. Setting it to always will notify staff of all changes to their schedule, no matter how far in the future those scheduled events are. This typically results in staff receiving schedule notifications they don't necessarily need, such as notifications for small changes in time or notifications for events scheduled months in the future. Most companies will set this to same day so that staff only receive notifications about changes to the current day's schedule. The final setting is daily staff schedule emails. This setting controls when staff receive their individual daily schedule summary emails. These can be set to go out anytime the day of or the day before. There is also a Send Staff Schedules Now option you can use to manually send out a specific day's schedule to an individual staff member or all of your staff. The next company-level notification setting we'll look at is the Pet Birthday Reminder email. This can be found by going under Client Settings and clicking on Pets. The Pet Birthday Reminder email will list all pets with upcoming birthdays. The Send Reminder setting controls when the email is sent out. Options include anything from never send to up to 7 days before the pet's birthdays. And with the Send Reminders To setting, you can choose whether you want the email sent to admins and staff or only to admins. The next company-level notification setting is the vaccination reminder email, which can be found in the vaccination section of client settings. If you use our vaccinations feature to keep track of when your client's pet's vaccinations expire, this setting will send an email to all admins and office managers listing the pets who have vaccinations that are due soon or have expired. This email can be configured to go out daily, weekly, monthly, or not at all. The next company-level notification setting is for copying assigned sitters on the client confirmation email, which can be found by going to Company Settings, then Messaging, and clicking on Client Services Confirmation. When this is set to yes, anytime a confirmation email is sent to a client, all staff who are assigned to a visit on that confirmation will receive a copy of the email. The next company-level notification setting is the Event Started notification to clients, which can be found under Mobile App Settings in the Configuration section. When the Notify Clients of Event Start setting is enabled, clients can receive a push notification and/or text message when you start one of their visits on the mobile app. If you choose to enable this setting, an additional field will appear where you can customize the message that is sent to clients at the start of their visits. Note that time tracking enabled must also be set to yes to be able to send event started notifications. Once you've enabled Notify Clients of Event Start here, you'll be able to enable or disable event started notifications on a service-by-service basis. For that, we'll go back to the dashboard and go to the Services list. In the Services list, click the Edit option for any event that you want to configure event started notifications for. Note that you will only see the option for Event Started Notifications here if you have Notify Client of Event Start enabled in the mobile app configuration settings. The last company-level notification setting is the Late Reminder, which is also configured on a service-by-service basis in the Services list. This setting will notify the assigned sitter and all admins and office managers when an event is late. The late reminder can be configured based on the time the service was scheduled to start, in which case the notification will go out if the service has not been started by the assigned sitter within the provided time, or it can be configured based on the time the service was scheduled to end, in which case the notification will go out if the service has not been marked as completed within the provided time. Now we're going to take a brief look at text messaging. Company-level settings for text messaging can be accessed by going to Settings in the main menu, and then clicking on Texting under Integrations in the Settings menu. There are a couple things to note about the text messaging feature. The first is cost. Your Time to Pet subscription includes 250 text messages per active user per month. Unused messages do roll over to the next month, and if a company goes over their allotted messages, the overages are charged at a rate of 2.5 cents per text message. The other thing to note is that most of the notifications that can be received by text message can also be received as a push notification from the mobile app. A push notification pings your phone similar to how a text message would, and clients and staff can reply to messages directly on the app, similar to how they would reply to a text. In most cases, having your clients and staff use the mobile app is going to be preferable to having them send and receive texts. One advantage of the app is that there are no limits or overages for push notifications like there are with text messages. In addition, clients and staff can also do much more with the app than they could with a text message. Clients can use the app to request service, update their information, view invoices, and make payments. And staff can use the app to view their schedule, complete visits, send messages to clients, view client and pet information, view their pay, and request time off. So for many companies, it will be completely unnecessary to enable the text messaging feature at all. There are, however, 3 notifications for admins and office managers that are available as text messages, but not available as push notifications. These are the notifications for client service requests, client change requests, and notifications that other staff are late to events. Your company may find it useful to enable text messaging for just these 3 notifications if you have an admin or office manager who also does visits, so that they can easily receive notifications for these things on their phone when they are out in the field.
Hi everyone, we will be spending a few minutes now answering questions on the first video. As a reminder, if we don't get to your question here, we will be doing an extended Q&A at the end of the last video. We will also be sending along a follow-up email with a link to the recorded webinar and answers to all of the questions that are asked. There was a question coming in about push notifications. Someone is not getting the notification on their iPhone that the Time to Pet app has a new message. So for that particular question, you'll probably want to email our support team at support@timetopet.com. We can definitely take a closer look at that unique situation. In some cases, you just have to enable push notifications directly on your smartphone. So when you pull up your iPhone, there should be a section where you can log in and see all notifications for all of your individual apps, and you may just have to enable that for the Time to Pet app. But again, shoot us an email at support@timetopet.com, and we can definitely take a closer look at that. A question came in about if text messages are not enabled, does the client have to log into the app to read their messages? It's a great question. So Time to Pet also supports emails that can be sent to your customers with all of the messages that are sent to them. So in that case, the client can most certainly just get an email with all of their messages. But if they wanted to view and respond to those messages, they can respond directly to the email, or of course, they can log into the client portal or the client app and add their response right there. A question about the overages on text messages, if that applies to both sending and receiving texts. So that does. The mobile carriers charge for all text messages used, whether they are sent or received. So all overages and all text messages do count messages that are sent and messages that are received as used text messages. At this time, we will be starting the second video. As a reminder, you can ask any questions you may have in the chat section, and we will answer these at the end of the video. If we missed any questions, we will be answering those at the end of the last video too.
Now we'll take a deeper look at the notifications that are sent to clients and the notification settings that can be configured individually on each client's account. Most notifications to clients are sent by email. These include messages added to the client's conversation feed by you or your staff, including visit completion messages and report cards. Schedule confirmations and change request confirmations sent after approving or rejecting a request from the client, or when you use the Send Confirmation option on a service order to manually send one. Payment notifications for credit card or ACH payments, both for payments the client submits themselves and payments you charge on the client's behalf. Invoice emails that you manually send to the client. Welcome emails sent when you add a new client, or portal instruction emails sent when you manually select the Send Portal Instructions option in the client's Quick Actions menu. Mass emails sent from the Email Clients tab in Messages, and password reset emails or account activation emails that the client requests themselves from the portal login page. Notifications that are available to clients by push notification or text message only include conversation feed messages and event started notifications. As you can see, there are very few times where a notification is sent to your clients without a manual action on your part initiating it. To further clarify, here are some specific examples of when we do not send any type of notification to your client. We never automatically email invoices to your clients. Making changes on your scheduler, such as changing the time or assign sitter for an event, deleting or canceling an event, will never notify the affected client. Updating a client's details or pet details, including making a client or pet inactive, will never result in a notification to the client. And manually applying a payment to an invoice will also never send a notification to the client. Now let's look at the basics a client needs to have to be able to receive notifications. To receive email notifications, your client would need to have a valid email address listed in the email field of their profile. You can optionally add a second email address, such as the client's spouse's email, to the CC email field. The CC email will be automatically copied on all emails for conversation feed messages, confirmations, and payment notifications. For invoice emails, you can optionally select whether you want the CC email copied each time you send. To receive push notifications, the client would need to have downloaded and logged into the mobile app and given the app permission to send them push notifications. We let you know when these conditions have been met for a particular client with the Has App tag at the top of the client's account. And to receive text messages, the client would need to have a valid cell phone number in whichever field you have designated as the client phone number field in your text messaging settings. On the right side of each client's account, you'll see a Receives box, where you can manually unsubscribe the client from system notifications and/or announcements. System notifications are the emails for conversation feed messages, schedule and change confirmations, and payment notifications. System notifications do not include invoice emails, welcome or portal instruction emails, or password reset or activation emails. Announcements are the mass emails you can send to clients from the Email Clients tab of Messaging. Clients are also able to unsubscribe themselves from system notifications and/or announcements via an unsubscribe link included at the bottom of these emails. If you have text messaging enabled, you'll see a texting box below the Receives box where you can configure the client's individual text message notification settings. The Texting Enabled setting allows you to choose whether text message notifications can be sent to this client at all. And the Default Delivery setting allows you to choose how conversation feed messages, including visit completion messages and report cards, are sent to the client by default. Options include by email only, by email and text message, or by text message only. When texting is enabled for a client and you go to compose a message on their conversation feed, their default delivery method will be pre-selected, but you'll have the option to choose a different delivery method for that particular message from the dropdown. The last thing we'll look at on a client account is the Notifications Diagnostics tool. When a client isn't receiving a particular notification that you believe they should be receiving, this tool can help you troubleshoot why. The Notifications Diagnostics tool can be accessed from the client's Quick Actions menu. To use the Notifications Diagnostics tool, first select the type of notifications your client isn't receiving, and then click the Run Diagnostics button. For this example, we'll run diagnostics on all notifications. The tool will first check that company notifications are enabled, then that system notifications and announcements are enabled for this particular client. Next, it will check the email logs to see if any recent emails have been rejected by the client's email provider. Then it checks that the client's phone is connected to receive push notifications. And finally, it checks that text messaging is enabled, that the client has a valid phone number, and that text message notifications for messages sent to clients are enabled. If the tool finds any potential issues, it will indicate those to you. You can also click the Send Test Notification button to send a test email, text message, or push notification to the client. Just note that when using the test notification option, the tool does not have a way to verify the successful delivery of the test notification. You will need to reach out to the client to find out if they received the test notification.
Hi everyone, and thanks for participating in the second video. We're now going to be spending a few minutes answering questions on this video. As a reminder, if we don't get to your question here, we will be doing an extended Q&A at the end of the last video. So a question came in about the reason why TimeToPet only supports texting or emails to clients with their post-visit reports. So actually TimeToPet does support email, texting, as well as push notifications for these post-visit reports. So if the client has the client app installed, then they can get all of these particular notifications or updates via push notification as well. A couple of questions came in about private messages, specifically where you can find notifications of private messages. So notifications of private messages can be found in the same section where you find notifications for regular messages. That's going to be the envelope icon at the very top right of the screen. That is going to be notifying you of all messages that are sent by your customers. Again, private messages would be included in there. A question came in about if clients have the ability to choose which way they receive their updates, whether they get those as email or text. TimeToPet does not allow your customers to choose which way they want to get those particular notifications. The reason being is that a lot of our customers want texting enabled, but they just are going to use texting for sending those notifications to admin or office managers. They don't want to send any text messages to clients. Because of that, it is something you would have to set on a client-by-client basis, whether that client was going to be able to get text messages. A question came in about where to set up the staff message updates, specifically if they get those 1 to 7 days prior. So this is going to be found in advanced settings and then in notifications in the staff receive notifications for option. So again, that particular one, how you set up if staff members get their messages or updates is going to be found in advanced settings and then notifications and then staff receive notifications. A question about how to avoid staff members receiving messages about invoices. So invoice emails in TimeToPet are never visible to staff. You may see those in a client's conversation field as a system notification. Those system notifications are not visible to staff members. Private messages can be sent as emails as well as push notifications. A question came in if they were only visible via the TimeToPet app. Private messages can also be sent as emails. If you send a private message to a client and the client responds directly to the email or responds to the message in any manner, then TimeToPet would automatically mark that response as private as well. At this time, we will be starting the last video. As a reminder, you can ask any questions you may have in the chat section, and we will answer these at the end of the video. If we missed any questions, we will be answering those at the end of this last video as well.
Now we'll take a deeper look at notification settings that can be configured individually on each staff member's account. All of a staff member's individual notification settings can be found in the Settings section of their account. This can be accessed by going to the staff member's profile and clicking on View Settings below their name, or by going to the main staff list and clicking Edit Details for that staff member. At the bottom of the Details tab of the staff member's settings, you'll find the settings for their daily schedule email. You'll recall from the video on company level settings that you can set the time that the daily schedule emails are sent out in the Notifications section of Advanced Settings. This setting here on the staff member's profile controls which days the particular staff member receives scheduled emails. Every day, only on days with scheduled events, or never. If the staff member is an admin or office manager, there will also be a setting on this page for the daily task email. The daily task email is sent at the same time every day as the daily schedule email, and you can configure for each individual admin or office manager whether or not they receive it on days that there are tasks due. Next, let's look at the settings in a staff member's notification time every day as the daily schedule email, and you can configure for each individual admin or office manager whether or not they receive it on days that there are tasks due. Next, let's look at the settings in a staff member's notifications tab. In this tab, you can configure which types of notifications, dashboard, email, or push, a staff member receives for various actions in Time to Pet. Note that while dashboard and email notifications are available for all actions, push notifications are only available for things that can be viewed on the app. Also note that which notifications are available to a particular staff member will depend on their role. Here, we're looking at an admin account so we can see all notifications. If you were to look at a regular staff member's account, some of these notifications wouldn't be available to them, such as the ones related to managing staff, scheduling, or invoicing. The first section is for notifications related to managing staff. These notifications are only available to admins and office managers with the correct permissions, and only available as dashboard and email notifications, as managing staff cannot be done on the mobile app. The next section is for client updates by staff or admins. All these notifications are for actions taken by staff for a particular client, while the section after this, client updates theirself through the portal, is for actions taken by the client. So for example, if you wanted staff to receive a notification when the client sends a message, but not when another staff member sends a message to a client, you could disable the notifications for message added to client conversation under client updates by staff admin, while leaving the notifications enabled for client adds message to conversation under client updates theirself through portal. For the staff and trainee roles, whether or not a staff member receives these notifications under client updates by staff admin or client updates theirself through portal will also depend on your setting for staff receive notifications for in the notification section of advanced settings. For example, a staff member could have their individual settings configured so that they have notifications enabled for when a client details are updated or when a client sends a message, but your staff receive notification for setting could be configured so that they only get these notifications when they have a scheduled event for the client within one day. The next two sections, Services and Packages, are for updates you make in your services or packages list, and are only available to admins and office managers with the correct permissions. The next section is for Scheduled Events. These are notifications to admins and office managers related to the company's schedule. Next is the Approvals section for notifications related to actions that require approval, which is also only available to admins and office managers with the correct permissions. And then there is the My Notifications section. All staff roles have this section, and these are notifications related to actions that affect the particular staff member whose profile you're on. Some of the notifications in this section are affected by company-level notification settings. The first four notifications in this section are related to scheduled events for the staff member and will depend on your settings for Schedule Staff Notifications in the Notification section of Advanced Settings. You'll recall the options for Schedule Staff Notifications are Same Day or Always. So for example, if a staff member has the I am assigned to an event notification enabled on their account, but your company settings are that they only get same-day scheduled notifications, the staff member will only get a notification when they are assigned to a same-day event, and not when they are assigned to an event on a future day. The I'm late to an event notification will depend on your settings for late reminders on each of your services, and the I'm part of service request order that has been reviewed notification will depend on your settings for copying assigned sitters on service confirmation emails in the messaging section of company settings. And the last notification section is for notifications related to text messaging settings and is only available to admins. The next section in a staff member's settings is client subscriptions. Here you can manually unsubscribe or resubscribe a staff member to particular clients. By default, Admins and office managers are subscribed to all clients, and staff are subscribed to clients they are scheduled for and/or clients they are a preferred sitter for based on your settings for staff receive notifications for in the Notifications section of Advanced Settings. When you manually unsubscribe a staff member from a particular client, they will no longer receive any of the notifications listed under Client Updates by Staff Admin or Client Updates theirself through Portal for that client, such as when the client adds a message or when the client's profile is updated. It is important to note that after being unsubscribed from a client, a staff member will never automatically be resubscribed to that client, not even if they have an upcoming service for the client. You would need to return to the Client Subscriptions tab and manually resubscribe the staff member to the client if you want them to receive notifications for that client again at some point in the future. In most cases, it's best to keep your staff's client subscriptions turned on for all clients and instead use the Staff Receive Notifications For setting to automatically control which clients staff receive notifications for. Similar to client accounts, staff accounts have a Notifications Diagnostics tool that you can use to troubleshoot why a staff member isn't receiving particular notifications. The Notifications Diagnostics tool can be accessed from the staff member's Quick Actions menu. The Staff Notifications Diagnostics tool has a few different options than the Clients tool. You can run diagnostics on either all notifications, notifications related to a particular event, or notifications from a particular client. And like the Client Notifications Diagnostics tool, the Staff tool can be used to send a test email, text, or push notification to the staff member. The last tool we'll look at for staff notifications is the Bulk Notification Editor. The Bulk Notification Editor can be found in Settings, under the Advanced section. The Bulk Notification Editor allows you to edit the notification settings for all staff of a specific role at the same time. For example, let's say you no longer want staff to be notified when another staff member sends a client a message. In the Editing For dropdown, select Staff. Then find the Message Added to Client Conversation Notification row under Client Updates by Staff Admin and uncheck the Dashboard, Email, and Push Notification options and click Apply to save changes. An important thing to note about the Bulk Notification Editor is that it is just a tool for changing the notification settings for multiple users in bulk. It does not show their current notification settings. It saves your settings when you click Apply, but when you go back to the Bulk Notification Editor later or refresh the page, they'll all be checked again. It can't show the current settings because each staff member's notification settings can also be configured individually. So the Bulk Notification Editor has no way of showing that one staff member has a particular notification enabled, while another doesn't. You can see that the changes you make with the Bulk Notification Editor are being applied by going to the Notification tab in your staff's individual settings sections.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for joining us for our advanced webinar videos. We will now be opening the floor for an extended Q&A on advanced notifications. Please feel free to ask your questions in the sidebar. As a reminder, we will be following up with an email that answers all of the questions that were asked and includes a link to the recorded webinar. A question came in on how come not all of the notifications listed when you are editing notifications can be sent to staff members. Some of them are only able to be sent to admin and office managers. The reason being is that certain notifications in TimeToPet are for things that only admins and office managers have access to, such as service or cancellation requests. Because of that, there's no way to create notifications for staff members for those particular types of actions. So we only provide the ability to turn on or turn off notifications for admin or office managers. A question came in to view a list of emails attached to an invoice that has already been sent. So the best place to find this information would be in the Message Center using the System Notifications filter. System notifications are going to show you all types of notifications that are sent to your client but are not added to their conversation feed. And you can most certainly use that filter to see all emails attached to an invoice that has been sent. A question came in on if the client has the Time to Pet app, do they also receive an email? That is correct. The client would also receive emails unless they have specifically unsubscribed them from system notifications or if you have unsubscribed that particular client. A question came in on why would we allow notifications for staff is sent a message by an admin when you are the admin in the account. The reason we do this is many of our customers may have multiple admin, so you still want to receive notifications if another admin sends you a message. If you are the only admin in the account, then of course you wouldn't get these notifications. A question about if an admin has the ability to receive push notifications when they are messaging a staff member and the staff member writes back. So unfortunately, push notifications are only available for things that can be viewed or done on the app, and it's not currently possible to view staff profiles or staff conversations feeds on the app by an admin or office manager, so we don't support push notifications for those actions. A question about if there is a way for staff members to speak to each other through the app. So unfortunately, again, that's not something Time to Pet currently supports. We've definitely heard that one before, and it's on our feature request list, but not something that we currently support. A question about push notifications and are those only available on the Time to Pet app? And if so, how do you offer the Time to Pet app to your customers? So in most cases, our clients will bring up the Time to Pet app when doing a meet and greet with a customer, or if you have a lot of customers already, you can create a mass email or a bulk email to send to all of your clients, letting them know about the app. All your clients need to do is search for Time to Pet in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. They would log in with the same credentials that they use to access the web-based client portal. We can most certainly help you craft that bulk email if you'd like any help. Again, just shoot us an email at support@timetopet.com and we can provide some templates that you can use. A question on if staff members can set their own notification settings for both the app and the dashboard. So that is something that is going to be dependent on whether or not you allow your staff members to manage their own notifications. That particular feature or setting can be found in staff settings and then permissions. If you enable your staff members to manage their own notifications, then yes, they would be able to choose what they are notified about via email on the app and on the dashboard. If you set that to no, then they wouldn't have the option to change their notification settings. A question about why push notifications are not able to be received for all types of notifications. It's a great question, and as I mentioned before, the Time to Pet app is designed really specifically to allow staff members to quickly and easily view all of the client information, complete events, and then send updates to the clients. There's some functionality in Time to Pet that is restricted to the web-based version of our system, and because we don't support everything you can do on the web on the app, we also don't support notifications for everything you can get via email or on the web on the app as well. A question about managing staff members, that it can't be done from the specific Time to Pet mobile app, but can it be done from an iPad? So you can most certainly control all of your Time to Pet account information from a smartphone or a tablet just by accessing the website version of Time to Pet, just timetopet.com. We've worked really hard and spent a lot of time and resources in making our website really mobile friendly and also very friendly for tablets as well. So most certainly you can do anything you do at your computer in the field. Just go to the website version of timetopet.com instead of logging into the Time to Pet app. So a question came in about clients replying to messages about invoices via the general conversation feed. So Time to Pet doesn't read emails or messages that your clients are sending, so we have no idea if a new message your client is creating is related to an invoice or related to something else. So we do definitely recommend you let your clients know that if they have a question or want to send you a message related to something that's not relevant to staff members, whether that's an invoice or billing or anything like that, definitely send that via the private channel just to make sure the staff members are not included. Again, Time to Pet doesn't read your messages, so we can't automatically determine if a message is related to an invoice or not. So definitely just let your clients know to send those messages via the private channel. A question about what is the My Messages tab in the app. The My Messages tab is the specific channel that your staff member will send and receive messages with your business. So for example, all of your clients have their own specific conversation feeds where you can send and receive messages to and from a client. My Messages is where the admin members of your team can send and receive messages directly to the staff member that are not specifically related to any client. Well, that's about all the time that we have today. We really want to thank you again for joining us for today's Advanced Notifications webinar. A couple of questions came in about if Time to Pet will be doing any more of these. We definitely have plans. We have quite a few advanced functionality and features that we are looking to address, and we will be scheduling more of these. We'll shoot you guys a message via Time to Pet and also via our Facebook page for all of our upcoming advanced notifications or advanced webinars. And definitely be on the lookout for those because we plan on doing more of these. To wrap up the webinar, I did just want to mention that if you have any questions after the session, you can always contact us by sending an email to support@timetopet.com. We'll also be following up via email with a recording of this webinar and to answer any questions we may have missed. Again, thanks everyone for participating. We really appreciate all of the great questions and all of the support for Time to Pet. Definitely let us know if you have any other questions.